Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our webinar all about matching grants this year for NWA Gives. We're going to get started in a second, but if you are here, if you can just let me know your name and what organization you're with, and then you can just type that into the chat, and then I can also make sure you can hear me.
Good morning, everybody. I'm glad you guys are here. If I didn't get a chance to meet you at the one-day intensive, I hope I get a chance to do that in person, but I'm thrilled that you're here to learn about matching grants. They are such an important part of your fundraising campaign, and I'm excited. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. So we have a lot to cover, and just as a housekeeping note, the webinar is being recorded, so if you have to drop off early, you can always see the recording in the toolkit after the webinar is over, and then we'll also have slides available for you so that you can kind of review things that we're covering today. If you do have questions, you can pop them into the chat. Laura's going to be monitoring that, or you can click the little Q&A button at the bottom of your panel, and you can send those over. So a little bit of our agenda, we're just going to really kind of dig deep into matches, what they are, why they're helpful for your campaign. We'll talk about kind of a 5-step process for using matching grants, how you can go about, setting them up. We'll show you the tool, and then I'll talk about a couple of different resources and a specific support article that you can review. It just has all sorts of information to help you get started with matches, or if you're, familiar with matches, it shows you kind of how you can make it a little different this year. And yeah, it's lots to cover. So to get started, what is a matching grant? If you're brand new to matching grants, they're basically a very important tool. They can really bring success to your campaign. It's essentially a large donation that somebody is going to give your organization, and then you use that amount of money to leverage it to bring in additional donors and more donations during the event. So basically your organization will ask like a donor or someone on your board or maybe a business to provide a grant to your nonprofit. And then you take that and you market it and you use it as an incentive to, post on socials, add to your email campaigns, and just really create excitement around donors being able to take advantage of the match. So whatever that looks like for you, there's a couple different ways to go about setting it up. The most popular is really a one-to-one match. So that's where you're, being matched by however much you give. So if you give $10, you get $10 additional. So that type of excitement really increases donors giving, especially during specific times. So if your match is live for lunchtime, maybe you have an hour-long match, that really pushes and drives people to make gifts right when you would like them to. So why are they really successful? Like I said, they create urgency. So if you have a short time period for your match, maybe it's a dinner time match, maybe it's a 2-hour, afternoon match, by offering like a shorter time period, that match can really make or break somebody's decision to give, especially at that specific time period. So if they're, they've added it to their schedule, okay, NWA Gives is today, I need to make a gift to my organization that I love. When they find out there's a match and that their, $10, $20 can be doubled, they're going to want to give, and then you're going to be sure to capture that donation. It really helps money go further. So at the end of the day, we all love a good deal. Matching grants, they're going to appeal to people's excitement around getting the good deal. So it's really essentially a marketing tool that you can use to fuel donations. The most popular, like I said, is a one-to-one match. So it's essentially like a buy one, get one, which we're all familiar with in stores. But it really also creates a clear, actionable call to action. So we call those CTAs. Donors want to support you, but they want to know when and how and what's the best way to give. So a clear, actionable CTA, we have a match, donate at this time to take advantage of it. Donors love that. They love knowing exactly what you want from them. So being able to have a match and marketing it well is going to make it really easy for donors to feel like they've, made a successful gift to you. It also is really empowering donors who give in smaller amounts. So if you have, somebody who, only has $10 to give, they're not feeling like they're making a huge impact. These matches are really going to make them feel like their smaller gifts are getting amplified, which essentially they are. So it's going to be able to help donors who have less to give really take that further. So a little bit about matches on the platform. Matches on the Mighty Cause platform, you have total flexibility as far as your start and end time. So if you want it to only be an hour long, if you want it to last the entire day, you can totally set that up. You can also queue your matches one after another. So if you were, you did a lot of, soliciting for matches and you've got a lot of grantors, you can set up multiple matches to queue one after the other. So you never have a moment where you don't have a match. You also can include the match amount in your total raised on your organization page so donors can see their impact in real time. They can see that, goal bar increase by whatever amount they gave with the match, which is exciting for them. You can also include offline donations in your match if you would like to. There's just a bunch of different types and styles that we offer for you to select from. And then of course we have a really nice matching grants dashboard where you can keep track of upcoming match, schedule matches, or download, reports of previous matches as well. So in a nutshell, 5 steps to make matching grants successful for you. The first thing you want to do when you're thinking about, trying out a match is obviously to secure the match. So you're going to need to start prospecting. So you'll want to think about who would be a good individual or group to ask. So board members are a really good one that we always talk about because you might have an individual board member who wants to donate a gift, or maybe you want your whole board to come together and make a gift as the match. So if every board member, say you have 10 board members and each one gives $100, you're right at $1,000 for a match, which is a big deal. That's a large match. But matches don't also need to be huge. If you have a donor who says, I want to give you $200 for your campaign, you can let them know that $200 is a really useful smaller match, and that would be really great to fuel donations as well. Additional people to think about, major donors. Maybe you have a donor who always shows up every year, wants to give you, $500. That's a great person to talk to about using their gift this year as a match. And then of course, any sponsors, any community partners that you might have that would be willing. The great thing about matches is that you know your donors in your community best, so you know how to talk to them about things that are important to them. So what's important to your grantor? Do they want to be publicized, their philanthropy? Are they big in the community and everyone knows who they are? And this is going to really impact, their own exposure. That's something to talk to them about. That's a really great perk of using a match with them, because you can add a logo to the match. You can write their name on the match. They're going to get that publicity if they want it. If you know your grantor is a little more private and they love, doing philanthropy, but in a more anonymous way, you can also talk to them about that. You can set up the match so it's anonymous. But overall, you're going to want to essentially finally make the ask. Let them know the impact that their match is going to have on your campaign. Let them know how enticing it is to donors. Really build up the excitement, because matches are a really cool tool. Donors really love them. They're going to be able to really help your campaign. There's so many different talking points about why matches are beneficial. And then hopefully they say yes. But now is definitely the time to start the process, start talking to your board members, start brainstorming. Maybe a board member has someone in their network who would be willing to make a gift. And then just remember, they don't need to be huge amounts of money. You can definitely make a match for just even, $200. So once you have secured the match, you're going to want to set up the match, and we're going to talk a bit more about this in more detail in the following slides. But you're going to set up the match on the platform on the back side of your organization page. You'll want to think about the different match options. So if you haven't, discussed that with your grantor, that's something that you can either include them in, or you can just make the decision for your own organization. We're only wanting to do a one-to-one match. This is what we'd like to offer. But we're going to talk more about the actual setup in the later slides. So once you've set up your match, you're going to want to start promoting your match. So you'll, if your grantor wants to be public, you can ask for their logo. You can ask for, if you can share their name. But you'll want to start marketing it. So you can add it to emails. You can let people know on socials during NWA Gives, between this time and this time, we have a match. This is a great time to give. you'll want to create a countdown as well. So when your match is live, share the progress, share it on your socials, share it on your, emails that you're sending out during the day. Take screenshots of that little match tile, which I'll show in a little bit. But all of this just adds to the urgency, which is going to get people excited and get them to make a gift while the match is live. And then also, when you know you have a match, go ahead and pre-schedule social media posts. So pre-scheduling is going to save you a ton of time and headache on the day of the event. Go into Canva. It's a free resource online. It allows you to make different social posts. Pre-schedule letting people know the match is live, and then you can make another pre-scheduled post where all you have to do is fill in the remaining amount throughout the day, so that you can quickly get social media posts up or stories on Instagram letting people know this is how much of our match is left. Take advantage of it. There's only 25 minutes left to give. A little bit of what it looks like when you're thinking about promoting your match. So just by default on the platform, when you do have a match live, underneath your logo, there's a donate button, and you're going to see a One Matching Grant Live tile. So it's like a fun little sticker. People can click on it and it'll bring them over down your page to the actual match tile, where they can get the full details. They can see who the sponsor is, if they're anonymous. They can see, the logo, if a company is sponsoring it. And they can also see how much of the match remains, which is exciting. So it's just a real-time metric that people can look at. I have a tip here. This is a great resource, a great tool to screenshot and just quickly share on socials as well. So you can screenshot how much is left. Again, a really good way to provide visibility into your grantor if that's something that's important to them. Giving them the recognition and the thanks throughout the process is going to be really big in getting those people to come back and want to do a match again. In your actual donations report in your organization page, you'll be able to see in real time which donations are matched. So you can see this donor gave $10 and it was matched. If you hover over this little eye icon, it'll show you the specific match that matched it. So if you have multiple matches during the day or something like that, you can just hover and you can see what match was were they able to take advantage of. And then you can of course see the date and if it was a recurring gift type of deal. Mighty Cause is auto-calculating how much of the match is being fulfilled, which, like I said, offers that real-time excitement. You can see it on the tile. And this grant summary box, definitely work it into your strategy. Just take those quick screenshots. It's easy. It looks cute. People can see it. And then, yeah, that's what it looks like. Step 4, you're going to want to start to wrap up your match. So the platform is automatically going to close the match once all the funds are depleted or if the time is up. And then you can see in your report how much of the match was used, how much was applied, how many donors, that type of thing. The platform is automatically going to send a match completion email to the email address that you include when you're setting up the match. So I'll show you that in a little bit, but there's a little spot where you can add an email notification. If you want, you can have that email notification go directly to your grantor. You can see kind of what it looks like. It includes a link for the individual to make the granted gift online as an online gift. They can click that button, they can fulfill their payment, and then it'll get added to your page. Or if you prefer to handle all communications with your grantor, you can just add your own admin email to the match section. And then you'll be notified once the match closes, and then you can follow up directly with the grantor. This is helpful if you know the grantor is going to give you like a check or an offline gift, and then they are not going to be confused when they receive an email that says click here to make your gift online. But after the match has ended, you're gonna want to make sure it gets logged. So either start thinking as you kind of are in the setup of your match, how is my grantor going to complete their gift? Am I going to ask them to send me a check, or do I prefer them to pay the grant online? And then of course, we always want to say thank you to our grantors. It's very appreciated, obviously, so you want to make sure that they feel seen and thanked. Being speedy, being personal, being sincere, giving them a call. You know your grantor best. You know if they want to be publicly acknowledged and thanked after the event and during the event, or personally just you can just give them a call and say thank you. Your board members, volunteers can write a letter. But yeah, definitely think about how you're going to say thanks, because you want these grantors to feel seen and appreciated, and you want them to come back hopefully next year to do a match as well. Um, and also letting them know the data is really going to be impactful. So share the specifics. You're going to be able to see in your report how many donors were able to make use of the match. Let them know how many donors their gift were able to impact. So all those numbers, all that data is really going to go a long way and really make the match, the grantor want to make their gift again. Alrighty, so setting up a match for your organization. So we're gonna get into kind of the specifics for how that looks on the platform. For your organization page, when you log in as an admin, you're gonna see your left-hand dashboard, and there's a bunch of different menu items. So underneath fundraising tools, you'll see a tile that says matching grants. So you click that, you'll be brought to your matching grants dashboard. You'll see live match, upcoming match, and past matches. From this section, you'll be able to click a little plus sign and it'll say create new match. So it's very easy to use, very clear. This is exactly what the match is going to look like when you set it up. So there's the name of a sponsor. If you want to say, an individual or an anonymous individual. If it's a business, or even if it's just your board, you can say, board gives back 2024. But option to hide publicly. This is where you'll enter in the match value. We're going to talk a little bit about what this means, include match value and page metrics in a second. You can add an image. Even if you don't have an image, like maybe you have an individual giving, go ahead and just add your organization's logo here. It just looks nice to have something filled in when that tile goes live on your page. If you have multiple matches that you're going to be starting to set up, you can queue the match to begin right after a previous match, and then you can specify the date and the time that it should start and end. If you want it to go for the full event, you can do that 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. type of deal, or you can do it just for a specific set amount of time if you want the match to just be live for an hour during lunch or during dinner. Totally up to you. So you can see there's a lot of flexible options here. We'll talk through a bunch of these in a second. But this is also where you can add that email for whoever should be notified once the match closes. So when it comes to match types, there's a bunch of different options. We're really excited to be able to offer just a bunch of different kind of setup options that you can choose from. The most popular one, of course, is the one-to-one, meaning whenever a donation is presented, it gets matched in full until the entire grant is fulfilled. So there's a couple different other options. You can match a specific percentage of each donation. So maybe you only want to match, up to a certain dollar amount per donation so that the match gets extended for a long time. If you have a $200 match, you probably don't want to match full one-to-one, because if somebody makes a $200 gift, they've essentially absorbed that entire match. So you want to be thoughtful about how long this match can be used and how many people you want to take advantage of the match. So if you have a smaller amount of money for a match, say $200, maybe you want to match, up to $50 per donation. So if somebody makes $50, they're going to get matched $50. If somebody makes a $200 gift, they're still only going to be matched $50. That way you can really try to stretch the amount of people that take advantage of the match, and then you can also use, more time to be able to get people to your page and make a gift. We also have cumulative threshold matches, which are a little more complicated. If you're brand new to matches, I suggest kind of keeping it pretty standard one-to-one. But if you've done it before and you want to try something new, or your donor wants to try something new, you can look at different types of cumulative threshold, which basically means the total match will be applied to your page when one of these three options is met. So the cumulative donations equal the match value, apply the total match when a certain quantity of donations is received, or apply the total match when a certain number of unique donors is reached. So those are three additional options, more complicated, but still easy to use. Then we also have a couple match conditions to think about as you're setting up your match. These are just different conditions. So you can set a minimum per donation amount. So like maybe you only want donations of $20 or more to be matched. So you can set a minimum, and as I mentioned, you can set a maximum with that $50 example I was talking about. You can also decide if you want your match to apply towards any offline donations. So if an offline donation is logged, do they get to take advantage of the match? Something to think about. And you can also opt to include organization fundraisers. So if you have peer-to-peer fundraisers and somebody makes a gift to a peer-to-peer fundraiser page, do you want the match to also apply to peer-to-peer fundraisers, or should the match only apply to donors who give directly to the organization when they click that donate button? And then of course you can also opt to only apply the match once per donor. So if somebody comes back multiple times during the day, say you have a day-long match, do you want them to be matched with every gift, or do you want a donor to just be matched up to one time? This is that match notifications, something to think about: who should be notified once the match is completed, and really just thinking about how you're communicating with that grantor. Are you handling the communication, or is your grantor comfortable with just an auto email being sent, and then you'll send a thank you and let them know, of course, in follow-up as well. Editing a matching grant. So if at any point you need to edit your matching grant, as long as it's live or it's scheduled and it's upcoming, you can still edit it. So something to keep in mind: once a match has closed, it is no longer able to be edited. And if you need a match to be deleted, maybe you messed up and you want to delete the match, you would need to reach out to Mighty Cause support to delete the match. But so long as your match is still live or it's still upcoming, you can make any edits you need. You're just going to go back to that matching grants dashboard, click the little 3 dots that are next to the match, and just click edit. So it looks like we have a question. So Sherry said, if the total amount is not matched, does the donor still donate the total amount offered? That's a good question. So most often your donor is still going to give you the full amount that's matched. I honestly, it's very rare that a donor would not provide that, but that's something to have in conversation with your grantor. Say you have an hour-long match and the match doesn't get absorbed, are they still going to deliver the full grant amount? So that's a conversation you can have with your grantor. And I see Laura just responded as well. Okay, so a setting. I want to kind of talk in depth about this setting called include match value and page metrics. Sometimes it causes confusion, but I want to hopefully explain this in the clearest terms as possible. So if you do have questions, let me know. But when you're setting up the match, there's an automated box and it's by default checked. So this is the include match value in page metrics. This is going to represent in real time when a donor makes a gift, those dollars are going to be shown in that metric goal bar that you have on your organization page. So you have the bar, it's going to show in real time as gifts come in, it's going to be increasing. So if a donor makes a gift and they get matched in real time, that matched amount is going to apply to your page. When you're thinking about whether or not to include this box in page metrics, there's kind of 2 different options that you can go. Obviously, you can keep it enabled, it's going to show in real time, or you can disable it, which means nothing is going to show when somebody gets matched. So if I donate $10, your goal bar is only going to increase by $10. If you have it in checked, if I donate $10, your goal bar, if it's a 1-to-1 match, is going to increase up to an additional $10. So if your grantor plans to fulfill their match online, we do recommend disabling this option, because when your grantor goes and makes their gift online, you'll see that gift amount included in your organization page as a lump sum. So the thing here is you don't want to double count the money. So if you're showing it in real time, you want to not show it when the donor makes their gift. Hopefully that makes sense. But if your grantor plans to fulfill their match offline, you can choose whether or not you keep it enabled or disabled. The question to ask yourself is, are you planning on recording your grantor's gift as an offline donation? If yes, then don't check the box to include in page metrics. If you choose to enable it, you'll see the match show of course, in real time. Um, but when you're ready to log it as an offline gift, you're going to want to go back into your matches dashboard and hide the match. There's like a little eyeball icon under the settings for that match, and that will essentially hide everything that's been showing in real time so that when you do log that offline gift, you'll just see it as a lump sum. Most likely, if you see a discrepancy between your amount raised and what you actually have with the match and the donations, it's likely because something is being doubled. So you're just going to want to go in and probably hide a match. And then all your numbers will most likely, this is what we see often, is that things are just double counting. And just a reminder that only online donations count towards leaderboards and prizes for the event. So if you do want your grantors' funds, their gift, to count towards those prizes and leaderboards, you'll want to talk to them about making their gift as an online gift after the match is met. If you need to review any of your matches, you can access the match history on your matching grants dashboard. If you want to download a full report, all you do is click the 3 little dots that are next to the match, and then it shows you can download a donation report, you can download a summary report, fulfillment link, which is if you need to generate a link for the grantor to pay as an online gift. But like I said, if you add their email to that match setup, they're going to automatically get an email. They can click the link and they can pay directly on the platform. And then I also wanted to point out, if you do want to hide a match, say you're seeing things double counting, the numbers aren't making sense, you can hide a match amount from your page totals. It'll take that away, and then you'll see the lump sum from the donor gift or the offline gift that you log. And then we have just a bunch of really great resources, and I've kind of showed you a screenshot of what the matching grants support article looks like on Mighty Cause. I would recommend reading through this. It covers a lot of what we covered, but then it goes much more in depth. So if you wanted to learn more about what a cumulative threshold match was, if you wanted to learn more about anything like that, you can go in and you can look at all of that stuff. We also have, of course, the NWA Gives Nonprofit Toolkit, and that has just a bunch of step-by-step instructions, timelines, templates, stuff like that. And then something else I want to point out, we have a Mighty Cause Resource Center that has videos on matching grants as well. So if you wanted to sit through, a much longer form matching grants kind of webinar, you can go watch a pre-recorded webinar that our team put together. And it just really goes through the entire breakdown of matching grants. And then, of course, check out the FAQs as well. If you need support, if you have a match that closed and you weren't ready for it, or you needed to make an edit to it, or you need a match deleted, reach out to our support team. They can help you. They can also help walk you through the setup. So if you feel like if you just need a little bit extra help, you want someone to walk you through how to set up the match, you can just reach out, send our support team an email, support@mightycause.com, and they'll kind of explain to you how you can set up the match, how you can queue matches if you want to try that. Or maybe a donation didn't look like it got matched and you're just curious. We can help you with anything you need about that. This is our resource center. It's kind of what it looks like. You can click the little webinars button. That is found under mightycause.com/guide. And you can look at ebooks. I believe we have one on matches as well. So if anyone has questions, or if Laura, you have any thoughts about matches as well, you all can send those through to us.
Hey, Sarah, I just wanted to pipe in with a quick comment. Today I should publish the prize categories for our Day of Giving. So if you've not participated before, we give away about $12,000 in prizes during the rally, during our Day of Giving. It's going to all be set up for things like our coffee hour giving is between 10 and 11, and you could win a prize just for that hour. So if you have a matching grant that you want to focus on one of these prizes, I would encourage you to do that too. I'll get that list out to you today so you can kind of see if there's one that appeals to you or that you think your donors would respond to as far as the time of day. So take a look at that list when it comes out today and see if there's a way to make a matching grant fit with that schedule. And you could actually earn even more because you might actually earn additional prize money for that hour. So just another incentive.
Any other questions from anybody?
The prizes will be on the page, but it'll be a little bit, our hard close or our soft close is going to be March 1st. So you'll want to be registered before March 1st. And if you need any help with that, just reach out to me at nwagives.org. No, I'm sorry. info@nwagives is me. So yeah, all of those prizes will be on the website, so you'll be able to see what options you have. But reach out to me, and I can include you in that email. But the best way to get all the information again is, of course, to go and register. So feel free to do that after you hop off, because you'll not want to miss it.
Wait and see if anyone else has any questions. But yeah, so thanks for taking time out of your day to join us. We're super excited for this year's NWA Gives. Again, if you have any questions, just reach out to our support team. If you are really excited and you want to try matching grants, just go ahead and read through the support articles. And you don't, of course, need to get a huge match. If you're brand new to this, think about just getting, maybe a board member or a smaller match to begin with. And then all of this is really just here to help you be able to do fundraising throughout the year. So try it, explore it, and then next time you can try something more. Alrighty, thank you everyone for joining. We'll get this uploaded to the toolkit.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.